so much for gifting me with your time and presence. Today we have a phenomenal webinar. This is what I'm most passionate about, helping other people manifest their ideal relationship. So let's start with a quick question. Have you met your twin flame? So you will see to the right of your screen, below the text chat probably, a question, have you met your twin flame? And 3 different answers. Please choose one and vote. And you will see the results from all the participants on the webinar. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. I'm going to keep saying hi to everyone. All right. Glad to have all of you who wasn't working at first. You logged out. Now you're in and you can see everything. Excellent. So how do I know my twin flame? We will answer this in the webinar. And we will have questions and answers at the end of the webinar. So make sure you stay till the end. And I'm going to be answering all your questions. So Tanya, if it's not working for you, log out and then log in once again using the same link. You may try a different browser. All right, so go ahead and answer the question from the poll. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. Okay, so here are the answers. Have you met your twin flame? Yes, we are together and thriving. 6%. Very happy for you. No, but I want to meet him or her. 72%. And yes, but we are separate. 23%. That's a very big percentage. And we will talk about why some twin flames get to meet, but they can't stay together. So let's begin. So do you dream of marrying your twin flame, having your twin flame soulmate as a life partner? Some people dream of manifesting a conscious and higher loving relationship with their twin flame or soulmate. I made it a goal and it became my reality. And so can you. And this is the intent of the webinar, to let you know that you can do this. It doesn't have to be a dream. So for more than 7 years, I have helped other people manifest higher vibrational relationships, especially the relationships they have with themselves. That's the first relationship I work on. Now, there is a specific protocol for manifesting a 5th dimensional relationship. Anyone can do it as long as they follow the right steps and work on themselves relentlessly. But first, you must know what is blocking you from making this reality. Because in life, if you want something, if you desire something, and you're not getting that, you're not manifesting that, then there is an energetic blockage. So what you will learn in this webinar, you will learn what makes a 5D relationship. You will learn what are the characteristics of a 3D relationship that many of you, including myself, are very familiar. We've all been through those relationships. You will learn the big problem, why people can't manifest a higher vibrational relationship and are stuck in a karmic loop. You will learn how to ascend to a 5D relationship and the energetic blockages and dynamics that are preventing you from this. You will learn how to access the 5th dimension, how to match the frequency of your twin flame soulmate, how to live from your heart chakra, and you will learn what love truly is. And we will be doing near the end of the webinar a very powerful heart chakra activation. We will be restoring the original divine blueprint for love. So make sure you stay tuned for that activation, because we will be giving a lot of value in this webinar information-wise, but that is the icing on the cake. The heart chakra activation. If you get something out of this webinar, make sure that is the part. All right. So before we begin, make sure you are free from distractions. Turn off Skype, Facebook, Twitter, cell phone. You can get back to all those softwares and computer features after the webinar. Make sure that you're completely focused and you have undivided attention on this webinar, because if manifesting your twin flame, manifesting a higher vibrational relationship is something very important for you, then this is vital and key information. And I just want to be completely transparent. At the end of the webinar, I will be making an offer to go deeper. But regardless of whether you take advantage of that offer or not, I will promise you, you will get incredible value from this webinar, information-wise and energetic healing-wise. So stay tuned. So what type of relationship are you in? Are you in a karmic relationship? Are you in a relationship that has codependency? And for those of you who don't know, codependency is basically making someone else responsible for your own happiness. And when you do that, what happens is that that person takes control over you, and your subconscious mind feels this as a loss of personal power, because you're giving them that responsibility. And then you try to control them, because if they're in control of your happiness, then you want to make sure that they do whatever they need to do to make you happy. And obviously, codependent relationships are very dramatic, and one characteristic is that they're energy vampiring, always trying to extract the love that you think you don't have from another person. Karmic relationships based on drama, pain, or trust issues. A lot of people suffer from trust issues because in the past, whether it's from this lifetime or a past lifetime, they had a relationship where someone broke their heart, they were betrayed, and now they have energy blockages in their heart chakra that prevent them from fully opening their heart chakra and trusting themselves and other people, opening to love. Or are you in a vibrational harmonization relationship with an open heart chakra, trusting, a relationship based on interdependence, and a relationship where both partners are fulfilling their soul's purpose. They're walking their soul's mission. So let's talk about 3D relationships. I know you're all interested in 5D relationships, but in order to get there, before you can even manifest a 5D relationship, you must first be able to transcend a 3D relationship and begin to experience a 4D relationship. Now, this will all make sense to you in a minute. It's much easier to understand dimensional relationships when we look at the chakras. So many of you are familiar with the chakras, especially the 7 embodied chakras? Well, as you know, the lot of humanity is stuck in the first 3 chakras. The first chakra, the root chakra, is based on survival, fears, and sex issues. This chakra also corresponds to the physical body and the subconscious mind. When this chakra is working properly, you can be grounded. You can cultivate that sexual energy and channel that kundalini up the spine. So it's a very important chakra, but when it has blockages, people are in survival mode, fear of death, etc. The sacral chakra, the issues of this chakra are related to pain, suffering, victimization, and abundance issues. So this chakra also corresponds to the emotional body or the emotional mind. So if you have your second chakra not functioning properly, then your emotions are going to be all over the place. Your pain body, the emotional pain body, will be triggered every day, and you will suffer from victimization, suffering, pain, etc. And finally, the solar plexus chakra, or the third chakra, has issues related to control, power, and self-esteem. This chakra also corresponds to the mental body and the rational mind. So if you're only limited to those chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra, then that's all the frequency bands you'll get to experience. And as you can see in humanity, many people have a lot of energetic blockages. Their mind is not functioning properly, they can't focus, they have random thoughts, they're constantly having traumatic experiences, emotional reactions, they live in fear and survival. So that's a huge problem. Now, 3D relationships. These 3 chakras correspond to our incarnate identity, or the ego. They're a fundamental part of who we are, but we're not meant to experience our entire lifetime from these lower chakras. You have higher chakras. So you're supposed to evolve and experience those higher chakras, which correspond to your higher self. So if you think about it, your first, second, and third chakra, that corresponds to your ego, or the incarnate identity, the identity that is right here, right now, listening to this webinar. But from the fourth chakra and up, from the fourth dimension and up, that is what is known as your higher self. So you were meant to activate these chakras as you grow up throughout life and progressively experience aspects of our higher multidimensional anatomy and awareness. Once we can tune in and live from the higher chakras, we will inevitably experience relationships that are fueled from the energy emanated by these higher vibrational energy centers. Unfortunately, most relationships are based solely on the needs of the ego and its desires to control, manipulate, create pain, and survive. So if we go back to the previous slide, you can see the picture on the right side of the screen where the first chakra is based on I need, the second chakra I desire, and the third chakra I want. And then when you go up is I share, I express, I see, I am, which are the highest expressions of yourself. So the need to seek love, approval, and appreciation outside of ourselves is ubiquitous. Codependent relationships are rampant in our society, with individuals trying to extract the love they think they don't have from other people. And this leads to energy vampiring and control issues, thus keeping people in ego-driven relationships. So I think this is the most important factor. People haven't cultivated enough unconditional self-love. They have a distorted perception of what love is, and that is why we're doing the heart chakra activation, because that is the single most important thing that you can do for yourself and for attracting a higher vibrational relationship. Now, for those of you who have studied with me for a while, you already know this. But for those of you who are new, maybe you already know this from previous studies or your intuition. But everything has a certain frequency, which is the vibratory oscillation rate of the atomic and subatomic particles in your field, which ranges from between 50 and 150 gigahertz. So your frequency is always ranging between 50 and 150 gigahertz. The higher the frequency, the more expanded your auric field, the faster you can manifest, and the more aligned your life is with your higher self. Frequency is extremely important because of the law of resonance, which states that depending on the frequency you have, you will resonate with people, places, times, things, and events that have a similar frequency, if not identical frequency. So take a look at your life. What are you manifesting right now in terms of your relationship with yourself, your thoughts, relationships with other people, your family, friends, intimate relationships? What are you manifesting in terms of finances, happiness, physical health? All those things have to do with your frequency, because we live in a holographic universe. And whatever you have encoded within you, in your chakras, your DNA, your auric field, will be projected onto your outer reality. So in order, two people do not get together and stay together unless they have the same or very similar frequency. When you look at relationships, you can tell immediately that they have an identical or a very similar frequency. If someone in a relationship changes their frequency and the other person doesn't, eventually they will go their separate ways, because they are not longer resonating with each other. So in order to manifest a fifth dimensional relationship, then your frequency must match a fifth dimensional relationship. It makes sense. You have to embody the frequencies of the fifth dimension. And we're obviously going to talk about how you can do that and what are the characteristics of that. So the big problem: if you have energetic blockages in your auric field, chakras, and DNA, then these blockages will prevent you from vibrating at a higher frequency and will repel you from manifesting a higher frequency relationship, because everything that is encoded in your field emits a frequency. And energetic blockages like fear, guilt, shame, hatred, judgment, all those energetic blockages and karmic imprints emit a low frequency energy. And so you will be attracted to people, places, time, things, and events that resonate with that energy. So once again, anything that is encoded in your field, like past painful experiences, karmic imprints, the emotional pain body, reverse fire letter sequences in your DNA, negative thought forms, force of attachments, will have an effect on your frequency. Now, living from the heart chakra. Remember, in order to get to a 5D relationship, you must transcend the first 3 chakras and then go up to the heart chakra. You cannot get to the throat chakra, the 5th chakra, without fully activating the heart chakra and embodying those frequencies, that state of being. So when the first 3 chakras are mastered and transcended, we can begin to activate and experience the frequencies of the heart chakra. The way we master the first three chakras is by removing all energy blockages that are attached to these chakras. Blockages like fear, the emotional pain body, blockages to abundance, not only financial but also abundance in love. Do you feel whole? Do you feel like you are the source of love? Or do you feel like you need love? Do you need to extract love from other people? You also need to clear and transmute shadow self archetypes and personas like victimization, the rescuer, martyr, the tyrant, etc., the perfectionist, or the sorcerer, which is known for self-sabotage. And you also require to let go of power and control issues, including self-righteousness, which is a big one for relationships. There's a saying that says either you can be right or have a relationship. Some people make an art of being right. They'll want to be right every time, and that destroys intimacy, destroys relationships. Now, more on living from the heart chakra. As we transmute these energetic blockages and integrate our shadow self, we can draw in more light to the first three frequency bands of our auric field and change the vibrational frequency of the particles that make up our first three levels of awareness. So if you think about your first three chakras, those are three frequency bands. If you have blockages in the particle pulsation rhythm within those frequency bands, will not match those of the heart chakra and above. But if you change the angular rotation and particle spin of those particles within the first three frequency bands of your auric field, then that will merge with your heart chakra, and you will be able to draw that light, accrete that light into your body, your physical body, emotional body, and mental body. Once this happens, our frequency begins to match the next higher frequency bands. The first one being the fourth chakra, or the heart chakra. Now, within the heart chakra lies the vibrational state of unconditional self-love. When we're able to fully embody a state of unconditional love and trust, we can unconditionally love others and transcend all judgment, hatred, betrayal, etc. But I'm going to say this again, it begins with us. It all begins with self-love. If you don't have a harmonious relationship with yourself, you can't have a harmonious relationship with another person. Because whatever you have, whatever issues, unresolved issues you have with yourself, you will project onto others, including your partner. So it all begins with self-love. You cannot fully love another if you don't love yourself first. This is why it's really important to clear all soul fragments and karmic imprints and other energetic blockages related to judgment, fear of not being loved, betrayal, heartbreak, hatred. Those blockages allocate on the heart chakra and prevent the heart chakra from blossoming and you from experiencing unconditional self-love. So far, does this make sense, everyone? Let me know if you're following this, if it makes sense. And remember that we will have questions and answers at the end of the webinar. So if I don't answer your question now, remember there are a lot of people here in the webinar, but I will get to all the questions at the end of the webinar. But let me know, does this make sense? Excellent. So it looks like most of you are getting this. You resonate with this. And that is, many of you are indigos. Many of you, you're not learning this, you're remembering this. It's like you resonate at a soul level with this information, because you were encoded with this information before incarnating here. So I'm so happy that we will get to do this. So the meditation will be near the end of the webinar, the activation, so stay tuned. But this information is a transmission that will enhance that meditation and activation. So now let's talk about the love blueprint. Love is a state of vibrational harmonization and balance that connects us to vastly more expanded levels of consciousness, where we can access our true and eternal selves. So I'm going to read this again. This is extremely important. Love is a state of vibrational harmonization. Just that first sentence. Love is a state of vibrational harmonization. When you're in harmony, you're experiencing love. That's your true nature. And balance that connect us to vastly more expanded levels of consciousness where we can access our true and eternal selves. So yes, some of you are experiencing already a tingling sensation throughout your body. That's a transmission. This is your higher self. So even the true nature of and meaning of love has been lost to most people. This love is not a physical or chemical attraction. Love in its true nature is not an emotion, but a state of vibrational harmonization. Love is the prime state which we always eventually return to. It is like our default state. So this is your nature. This is who you truly are. And you have access to this anytime, anywhere. You just need to know how to access this state. This is the love that knows we are all expressions of the same one. This is the original blueprint for humanity. So it all starts to make sense. When you read all those books, you meditate, and you feel that we are all one. Deep down in your core. That's because you come from that state. You are that state of love, of vibrational harmonization, and it makes sense to you. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to briefly talk about myself, not too much, because this webinar is about you. If you really want to know more about me, look me up on Google, YouTube, and you'll see my story, more information about that. But I'm just going to briefly tell you, for those of you who don't know me, who I am and why am I giving this information. Back, years ago, I used to have a karmic loop, repeated history of dysfunctional relationships. And ever since I was a little kid, I had this feeling that I would manifest an epic relationship. I was a lover at heart, but throughout my adulthood, I experienced only dysfunctional relationships, and it was really frustrating. But that motivated me to clear my relationship slate and embody my higher self. So I searched for many years, studied healing modalities to clear myself so that I could make space for my relationship to manifest. So I decided to end relationships, be by myself, and work on myself relentlessly for 3 years, clearing myself until I felt ready. Now, most of you don't need that big, that amount of time. Some of you are just on the brink of readiness. Some of you are already ready. But I needed that time. So I cleared myself and I attracted my twin flame. But that was the beginning, because when I attracted my twin flame, I obviously experienced great joy and bliss, but I also realized that there was more work to be done. She was my mirror. She showed me and still shows me what I need to work on. So by doing this, I found my soul's purpose and mission as an indigo. I began to help other people do that same thing, embody their higher self, match a higher frequency vibration or vibrational harmonization, and attract and match that frequency to their twin flame soulmates. And so this is why I founded Ascended Relationships, and I became known as a relationship frequency matchmaker, because I match your frequency to your ideal relationship. So now let's get to the juicy part. What is a fifth dimensional relationship? Once you can live from your heart chakra, you will then be able to ascend to the fifth chakra. The throat chakra, or the fifth chakra, corresponds to the frequencies of speaking and living your own truth. By accessing the wisdom within your heart, your inner truth will reveal itself with absolute clarity, and you will feel a driving force that will propel you to speak that truth. But this is very important. Rather than merely speaking your truth using words, you will begin to embody your truth and model it with your presence. So you're going to be constantly transmitting your truth, even when you don't speak. You will be walking your truth and speaking your truth through your actions, your presence. And even when you're in silence, they need to preach, or convince others of your truth is no longer required. For you know that those who are ready will come to you. Now, more on 5D relationships. When the fifth chakra is fully activated, you use a language of personal power and drop all words that resonate with victimization, blame, limitation, and lack. Instead, you're aligned with the power of the universal the ultimate power of creation and manifestation. You realize that your words are mathematical programs that can be sent out into the universe to create your desired reality. And you intuitively know that questions are the key to greater wisdom, and that spoken commands unleash your manifestation abilities. So when I talk about question, is you start embodying that state of not knowing, of the not know mind, the Zen mind. And your chakra is fully activated, you're aligned with that universal frequency. So ultimately, what determines the embodiment of the fifth dimensional frequencies within your morphogenetic field is the fulfillment of your soul's purpose. You see, when you get to the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra, those correspond to dimensions 4, 5, and 6, which also correspond to what is known as your soul identity. Remember, the first 3 chakras are the ego, their incarnate identity. But then when you go to chakras 4, 5, and 6, that is your soul's purpose. So to manifest a 5D relationship, you must align yourself with your soul's purpose and remove any energetic blockages preventing you from this. So what spawned fifth chakra blockages? We're talking a lot about blockages. How were those blockages created? You know, a lot of people have blockages in the throat chakra. They can't speak their own truth. So fifth chakra represents one of the biggest challenges when it comes to relationships. In ancient times, male-dominated religions purposely created and promoted distorted beliefs about women in order to control humanity. Women were said to be soulless and bad, and therefore they could not have a direct connection to God. Apparently, that's what they promoted. Emotions were considered to be a feminine aspect, and men as warriors were ridiculed, punished, and sometimes even killed if they showed any so-called women's emotions like love, fear. So this led to billions of men to repress their emotions, and anger resulted from this. So this created a lot of blockages in men's chakras because they couldn't speak their truth. They couldn't speak how they felt. And for thousands of years, and even today in some parts of the world, women were not allowed to have a profession, education, voice, or opinion. You know, women for thousands and thousands of years were treated like that. Their opinion did not count. Men did not seek wisdom from women, so men would look down upon women and disregard their truth. This is known as the male-female rift, and it is imprinted in the soul memory of billions of people. So till this day, you will see in relationships where men have a hard time allowing their women, their beloveds, to speak their own truth. And they have a hard time speaking their own emotional truth. And especially when you're a child, if someone told you, your parents, you're a teacher, you're wrong, or you're an idiot, you don't know what you're saying, that can create a soul fragment, and then you have issues of speaking your truth. So you must clear that in order for your fifth chakra to fully blossom and for you to embody those frequencies. Now, what are the requirements for a 5D relationship? In order for men and women to manifest a fifth dimensional relationship, the following is required. For men, they need to allow, support, and embrace the feminine essence. First, within themselves, because we all have feminine and masculine energies. And then through women. For men, to surrender to the divine feminine and support women to speak their own truth. When a man does this, a great rebirth occurs. So when I realized this, I surrendered to my own divine feminine essence within myself. And it was like exactly that, a rebirth. I was reborn. And all of a sudden, I got access to this feminine power within myself, within the universe. And soon enough, I attracted my twin flame. And women can sense this. Women can sense when a man honors the divine feminine. And this takes great courage, but it's totally worth it. It's one of the best things any man can do. For women, they need to step up and walk their own truth. It's time to let go of outdated belief systems, karmic imprints, and lies about women not being as equally or even more powerful than men. You know, we're all equal, but there's something to the divine feminine energy. It's what gives birth. And that's why so many masters, you know, bow, honor, and are in awe with the divine feminine, even male ascended masters. And once you get into that enlightened state, some ascended masters even say that there's no gender, you know, it's the same. Now, women also need to surrender to the divine masculine within themselves and then within men, and let go of the struggle to control power, because what happens is that in ancient times, since women were so repressed, what many women have done is suppress their own feminine energy in order to use their masculine energy to survive. That's why you see a lot of women with a lot of masculine energy. But think about it. If you have masculine energy in overdrive, and you get into a relationship with a man who has more masculine energy, what do you think will happen? Fights, arguments. There needs to be a balance. Now, some of you are saying, this is a very good question. Just curious, is this the same for same-sex couples? Yes, we all have masculine, feminine energies within us. So both men and women require to heal the male-female rift and balance their inner masculine and feminine energies. Both men and women must let go of control, dominance, and self-righteousness. These steps will unleash the power of the fifth chakra for men and women. And by frequency resonance, the individuals who consciously choose to heal the male-female rift will attract a being who is also vibrating at this frequency or is very close to it. And you can help them get there. Sometimes men require to be in the presence of a conscious woman to be able to surrender to the divine feminine and experience the rebirth. So for you women out there, if you are conscious, if you have embodied your feminine power and you have balanced that masculine feminine energies within yourself, surrender to your own divine feminine and masculine energies, a conscious man will be very attracted to this. And in your presence, sometimes spontaneously, they will experience a rebirth. Something will trigger that in them that will allow them to surrender to the divine feminine and experience that rebirth. Women can also experience a rebirth when in the presence of a conscious man. Sometimes it's the opposite. A man who has embodied that awareness, who has healed the male-female rift, can attract a conscious woman and trigger or enhance, amplify that experience of rebirthing, of surrendering to the masculine energy in reverence, in honor. This is not dominance. This is we are one. And when this rebirth happens, a fifth dimensional relationship is born. Both partners are embodying their soul identity, the part of your higher self that resides in dimensions 4, 5, and 6. And as a result, they are fulfilling their soul mission and soul purpose here on Earth. Their tantric energies can now rise from the first chakra to the fifth chakra and above and be used as healing energies and conscious awakening. So how do you access the fifth dimension? To understand what makes a fifth dimension or a 5D relationship, what makes that a reality, we must first understand what a dimension really is. When most people think about the fifth dimension or any other higher dimension, they think that it's somewhere up there and outside of their current reality. But all dimensions are everywhere, even inside of you. What determines which dimension you experience is the particle pulsation rhythm, the speed and rotation of the particles that make up your auric field and DNA template. So if you could change the vibration, rotation, and speed of the particles that make up your auric field, you would literally begin to experience a new dimension of reality without having to go anywhere. But rather, you could embody those higher dimensions here and now. And this is possible right now. We are in the middle of an ascension cycle. So it is possible right now for humans to activate their chakras and DNA to accrete higher dimensional frequencies, including the fifth dimensional frequencies, and embody that. You don't have to leave your body. You don't have to go somewhere else. You can do it right here. And this is how ascension happens. When a lot of people in humanity embody this frequency, then the frequency of the entire planet will change. And reality, even outer reality, will begin to change. And this is happening right now. This is what a lot of outdated belief systems and governments and economies are starting to shift. However, as you can tell, most of humanity is phase locked in the frequency bands of dimensions 1, 2, and 3, and therefore can only experience a limited aspect of reality. The reason why more than 90% of humanity lives inside a frequency fence is due to blockages in their DNA, especially the fourth strand of DNA. All dimensions and your chakras are connected to your DNA template. And if you have blockages in your fourth strand of DNA, then that means that you won't be able to fully activate your heart chakra and accrete the light that corresponds to your higher self. That is why it's imperative to clear DNA blockages and progressively activate your higher DNA strands so that you can begin to embody your higher self and attract a higher frequency relationship. Now, coming up next is the heart chakra activation. But before we go into that, I would like all of you to take a 2-minute break, drink some water, stretch. If you need to go to the restroom, go ahead. Take a 2-minute break and then come back, and we will be ready for the meditation, energy transmission to fully activate your heart chakra and restore the original divine blueprint for love. And yes, this will be a DNA activation, especially for your heart chakra. So go ahead, 2-minute break, get some water, and I will be back with you shortly. All right, everyone. So I'm back. Please let me know that you can hear me, that you can see the screen. Let me know that you're ready for the activation. So I see some of you are connecting with each other. That's great. So now, please, once again, focus your attention on the webinar. Let me know that you're ready. All right. Okay. Excellent. So in order to change your frequency, you require to do things differently. Now, for those of you who have worked with me for a while, you already know about this. For those of you who are new, what we're going to do is use the sacred geometry code that has been encrypted and encoded with specific mathematical light and sound programs, intents, mantras, frequencies, that this specific code is meant to activate the original divine blueprint for love. So what happens is that when your field, your morphogenetic field, your auric field, your chakras are exposed to this code, which has a very high frequency, then instantly you raise your frequency. It's like installing a new software in your DNA, in your hard drive, your mainframe, and clearing any blockages or reverse 5-letter sequences, bugs, things that are not functioning properly. If you think of yourself as a computer, wires that are not connecting, then this code will rearrange all of that to the power of alchemy and love, so that you can go back to that state of vibrational harmonization. So what I would like you to do, what I would invite you to do, is to put a very strong intent to connect to your higher self. So connect to your higher self, and with your intent, imagine the code going into your third eye. And this is called optical pineal induction. Now see the code in your mind's eye. Take a deep inhale in, and with the next exhale, exhale the code down to your heart chakra. And see the code merging with your chakra. So right now I'm connecting to your higher self. And I salute you from my higher self to your higher self. And now imagine that with each inhale you take, the code expands in all directions until you are completely enveloped by the code. Your auric field is the code. It is commanded by the laws of the golden liquid realms, alchemical powers of the violet flame, and in the name of divine love, that the 528 hertz origins, love, code of all, be used to activate for each person here their pineal gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, medulla oblongata, 15 chakras, DNA template, and every particle of their being to their highest energetic holding potential and original divine function, restoring the true nature and essence of love, which is vibrational harmonization, opening the heart chakra of each person here and transmuting any blockages, preventing them from this in the best way possible for themselves and in line with their higher self now. Ta Asia into door. So please focus on this activation. Stop typing and just surrender to your higher self. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in and out the colors of this code. And imagine that your crown chakra opens and there's a vortex of energy, golden liquid light energy from above, from the higher dimensions, coming into your crown chakra and spiraling down all the way to your heart chakra, turning your chakra into a golden liquid orb. You will feel this as a warm sensation. Notice the tingling sensations throughout your field. Notice any vibration, change in temperatures. And allow this code to work on yourself. So let me know, how are you feeling right now? The activation has just gone quantum. So that means that whatever blockages were transmuted, they were cleared on all levels of your field. And this will take some time to integrate, days, even weeks. So be aware of any synchronicities, any realizations, intuition, because your higher self is going to guide you. Okay, so some of you are feeling good, blissful. My heart chakra is bursting with love. That's awesome. Peace. Very hot. I feel my third eye vibrating. So yeah, I made the comments private for a moment so that you could focus. Very powerful activation. Thank you. Loving it. I feel very zen. Feeling some pressure in the head. Yeah, those are the frequencies coming down, vibrating throughout and beyond. I feel tingling on my head. I cannot stop smiling. I am warm and feel good. Awesome. Very peaceful and centered. I feel tingling on my head. Excellent. So keep the comments coming. Tightness in the head, vibrating, good. Activate template. Love is powerful for everyone. Yes, it is. I feel like a vortex of love and light. Beautiful. Feeling centered. That's awesome. So more comments are coming in. I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the presentation. So, like I said at the beginning of the webinar, I have a very special offer for you. The solution to manifest a 5D relationship. Remember, the problem was the blockages. So the solution is that you must clear all energetic blockages and subconscious beliefs at the quantum level of your awareness to raise your frequency and begin to attract a more harmonious grid of people, places, times, things, and events. This will include soulmates and twin flames, as well as other desirable life experiences. The key is to transmute these energetic blockages permanently on all levels of your awareness. Unfortunately, many healing modalities out there only work on the lower levels of your awareness, maybe the mental level, the physical, the emotional level, but they, sometimes they'll go to the astral level, but they'll stay there. It's important to work on all levels because these energetic blockages can replicate themselves. That's why a lot of people, when they do clearings on themselves, then the next week or the next day, they have the same experience. They have to constantly clear that because they clear it on the first 3 levels and then it goes to the astral level, but then it regenerates, comes back again. And I know this because I spent more than 10 years studying and practicing different healing modalities with the goal to find one that would deliver permanent results. When an energetic blockage is cleared only on the physical, emotional, and mental levels of your multidimensional anatomy, but it's not cleared on the more etheric levels of your awareness, the discordant energies will regenerate. That is why it is of extremely importance to clear all energetic blockages from this and past lifetimes, incarnations, and even parallel universes at the quantum level. Because many of the things you are experiencing right now in your life, the challenges, the struggles, the reactions, the karmic loops, they were created in previous lifetimes. I would say more than 90% of them. So when something is cleared at the quantum level, it cannot regenerate. All the energy has gone back to the void and has become nothing or no thing. Even the neural net connections in your brain related to the traumatic events are transmuted. So, how to manifest a 5D relationship? Today, we did the beginning of that. Reactivating, resetting your heart chakra to the original divine blueprint for love. That's the first step. But I want to invite you to go deeper so that we can clear all the blockages and do further activations. So join me and a group of committed individuals on May 8th, next week, on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on an unprecedented event to attract twin flames and manifest 5D relationships. We will work on transcending the first 3 chakras and clearing the energetic blockages that keep you stuck in that frequency, opening the heart chakra, activating the 5th chakra, healing the male-female rift, embodying your essence, learning the top relationship mistakes. This is very important. You will learn what are the top mistakes that people make in relationship for both men and women. And if you are doing this, you can transcend them. You will learn the ways of a 5D relationship. You will learn how a 5D relationship is meant to interact, to connect, and to love. And you will learn the most powerful manifestation technique to manifest a twin flame. So here is being more specific on what we will clear and what we will work on. We will clear self-righteousness and competition. This is very big between men and women, even women and women, men and men. Emotional addictions to pain, hatred, and self-pity. Many of you are not aware of this, but the top 3 emotions that we can get addicted to are pain, hatred, and self-pity. We will clear victimization and blaming. We will clear the emotional pain body. We'll clear control issues so that you don't have the need to control the other person so that you think they're going to make you happy if you can control them. We're going to clear the need to seek love, approval, and appreciation outside of yourself. We're going to clear the fear of not being good enough and not being loved. We're going to go deeper into self-love. We're going to clear blockages to speaking your own truth. And we were going to do a frequency calibration to attract your twin flame and manifest a higher vibrational relationship. So as you can see, this is going to be a packed webinar. We're going to do massive clearings and massive activations for all participants. If you like what you experienced today, the next webinar will blow your mind. And it will change your life, and it will finally get you ready to manifest that twin flame relationship. And if you're already in a relationship with your twin flame and you're struggling, that it will allow you to go to a deeper level, transcend those karmic loops and challenges, arguments that you are repeating over and over again. And if you haven't found your twin flame, or maybe you found that twin flame, but you're not still together, then you can clear yourself to get into the state to make that a reality once again. So you'll see somewhere below the text chat the special offer for this webinar. So usually this session, if you do this session one-on-one with me, the investment is $528. But for this webinar, I'm making a special offer of $197. That investment, that energy exchange, is to allow more and more people to participate on this and restore, create a new legacy of harmonious, higher vibrational relationships on Earth. What makes it unique about doing it in a webinar is that you will be connected to a lot of individuals with the same intent. So whatever someone else is working on, you will work on yourself. So it multiplies, it amplifies the activations and clearings. And we will do very powerful meditations and visualizations to set a huge intent for the entire humanity to awaken to the original divine blueprint for conscious, higher loving relationships. So this is going to be huge. This is going to be the best webinar I've ever given in my life. So now, enough of that. Let's go to your questions. What are your questions? Okay, so the first question, Brian, by clearing these blockages, will it also help in other areas of our life, such as financial and creative? Absolutely, because when you're in a state of vibrational harmonization, you're connected to source. You're connected to your higher self, and your higher self has everything you need to know about how to manifest abundance, how to manifest better relationships, how to create a new business, how to be more creative, how to find more passion in your life. Your higher self can guide you to all of that. Okay, so what is a twin flame? A twin flame is basically, in a very simple way, it's imagine a soul in the absolute before incarnating, part of source that divides into masculine and feminine, and both have the same essence. And often twin flames, before incarnating, they have a contract to meet again because they have a soul mission, a soul purpose to fulfill. Often they are male-female, but sometimes it could be male-male, female-female. Everything is possible. So twin flames are souls that basically come from the same place, have the same frequency at their core essence, and they have a major contract. Okay, so Vilma asks, is this price for the membership as well? No, this is only for the webinar. The membership is separate. If you're a member of the Soul Mission Fulfilled program, then this webinar is free. And you can find the link to register for that webinar inside the members portal. The replay of the webinar, you will receive the replay as soon as we end the webinar. The webinar will be uploaded and you should receive an email with the replay. So Johnny, it all has to do with your frequency. It doesn't have to do with your physical disability. The fact that you haven't been in a relationship has to do with your frequency, your thoughts, your energetic blockages. There's this guy called Nick. He's a phenomenal guy. He doesn't have any of his arms or legs. And he is married and he is taking over the world preaching how you are limitless. So it has to do with your frequency. No matter what you try, online dating or going to places, you're projecting beliefs and blockages that keep you in that karmic loop of not being able to meet anyone. So if you clear that, then you will attract someone that will love you for who you are. How can I balance the male-female rift between my partner and myself? It seems we trade at odd times intervals, and in my thinking I would assume maintaining a single energy would be the best in this partnership. Yes, sometimes in a relationship people become too entangled. That's why I mentioned interdependence. It's where both of you keep the integrity of your field. Healing the male-female rift starts, like everything, with intent. Intent to surrender to your own divine feminine energy, for her to surrender to her own divine masculine energy, and let it go of control, power, self-righteousness, etc. The reason I do clearings on this is because some of these patterns and behaviors are energetic blockages. And even though you have the mental awareness on what you need to do, the energetic blockage, the soul fragment, is still there, and it keeps triggering you. It keeps getting activated over and over again, and so it's very difficult to transcend. So in the webinar that we're going to give next Thursday, we will clear that. We will heal the male-female rift so that you and your beloved, and for example, if you're in a relationship, even if you have a friend, you don't have to pay for both of you. You can only pay for one, and you can have your partner, and both of you can do this webinar. This is my intent. So Josephine, for the membership, please visit my website, click on services, and you will see the different options for the memberships. Okay, so Eric has some similar challenges to Johnny. Like I said, it's only a limit if you make it yours. If you go beyond that belief that your physical ability is limiting you, then you will manifest so much more that you can think of. I am in a 3D marriage, and I'm ready to move up to a different dimension in 5D1. Can there be a smooth transition, or does it have to be painful and difficult? I don't know. I don't feel my current partner will transition alongside me. Again, the transition has to do with your intent. When you work on yourself, when you clear yourself, you will become much clearer. You know, sometimes, often, the dynamics in a relationship, we tend to blame the other person, or we think that, you know, if only they could change, everything would change. But that is a lie. You know, we also need to work on ourselves. It doesn't mean that they're not responsible, but we are also responsible for the dynamics. So the key is to work on yourself, get as clear as possible, and then when you are clear, you will be surprised at how your field, your awareness, your state of your presence can inspire someone to change, to shift, to raise their frequency. And if that doesn't happen and you have to go your separate ways, then you'll know that it's for your highest good, because this is something your higher self is guiding you to do. You know, many people are in the wrong relationships. They're in karmic relationships because, like I said, they're carrying karmic baggage from the past into this lifetime, and they're getting into relationships in order to resolve that karma. But then they stay stuck in there. And then life goes by, they didn't fulfill their soul's mission, and you know, that's something that can have a very detrimental effect on you, because one of the best things about life is living a life full of joy, of fulfillment, of love, of contribution. So if your relationship can't change, then you know it's a decision you have to make. Well, the difference between twin flame and soulmate, we have many. We can have like 12 soulmates, and some of them can be romantic. Twin flames, usually there's only one, and it's a very powerful frequency. So I've met soulmates in these lifetimes. I've met my soul family, but let me tell you, when you meet your twin flame, you can tell the difference. So that's something that you'll have to experience. But when you get ready for that, when you activate your field and the twin flame comes, that's when you will know. Some people can tell you all about it. You can read on my website and other websites about twin flames, but ultimately you have to have the experience of what a twin flame is to know. And the thing is that deep down inside in your soul, you already know. Yes, Brian. The next webinar will also be recorded, so if you cannot attend, the recording will be available for all of you who participate. So that means that not only will you receive the clearance in the webinar, but from the replays as well, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. So this will be a fantastic thing to take your relationship, manifest your twin flame, and take your relationship to a whole new level. So yes. So what is the twin flame contract? It depends on twin flames, you know. For example, my contract with my twin flame is to be a model of what is a conscious, higher functional relationship, higher vibrational relationship. Now, I want to make clear, when you manifest your twin flame, when you have this higher vibrational relationship, doesn't mean that you're not going to have any arguments or drama. You can get to that point, but doesn't mean that you won't have that from the beginning. Quite on the contrary, many people think that that kind of relationship will be harmonious all the time, but you need that polarity. That is what creates passion, okay? But you'll have the tools and resources, emotional, mental, and spiritual tools and resources to navigate through that, break through, and gain more wisdom, be more resilient, be more loving. That's the most magnificent thing about relationship, is that you can keep growing and growing. So in terms of self-growth and contribution, there is nothing like a relationship, especially a relationship with your twin flame. So I'm a woman with a strong masculine energy. Will the webinar help my divine feminine and masculine into balance? I have a strong competitive streak. Yes. When we get to work on the male-female rift, that is exactly what we will do for all the participants. Balance the inner masculine feminine energies, working at the source, the DNA template. Because if you have energetic blockages at the DNA, you know, for example, the DNA, you have a double helix DNA. One helix is the electric or masculine helix. The other one is the magnetic or feminine. If the codes are not working properly, then you will have an imbalance. So what we will do is we'll use a specific sacred geometry code to activate the DNA and reorder the masculine, feminine, electric, magnetic energies within your DNA, your chakras, your auric field, and that in turn will balance your inner masculine and feminine energies. We will be also doing a clearing for competition, self-righteousness. So this will help you tremendously to let go of that, accept what is, love what is, and I'm telling you, only those two things by themselves are huge, monumental, but there will be even more. So why are some twin flames finding each other but can't be together? That's a very good question. Well, it's because some of them have a lot of karmic past life baggage. They have energetic blockages, and when they meet, their frequencies are not at the level that that frequency requires them to be in order to manifest that relationship. But instead, you have issues related to control, to betrayal, the pain bodies getting activated. You have cords of attachments to previous relationships. And all of that interferes with the relationship, and eventually they break up or they cannot get to that level. So when you clear yourself and you get into that state of vibrational harmonization, you meet your twin flame and you can really meet them. You can meet their essence. You can go beyond the discordant dynamics, the entanglements, the inherited imprints, the archetypes, etc. Okay, so for those of you who have already signed up for the webinar, I will send you the link. So once I finish here, probably tomorrow, within 24 hours, you will receive the link to the webinar. Okay? So if you're already paid, your registration is confirmed and you will receive the link. And yes, everyone has a twin flame. Okay, so I'm reading more questions here. If you have more questions, keep them coming. If I haven't answered your question, then pardon me, but there are many questions going, so I'm scrolling down. So I have met my twin flame, but we met before I was ready. The sync there, the sync wasn't there at the time. Yeah, that happens. But you can get there once again. Well, we know when we're really ready for a relationship, since past ones have not been great when I actually sought them, thinking I was ready. I'm very reluctant to engage in one for a while. Will this reluctance keep me from progressing? Yes. That is because you are carrying baggage from previous relationships. So you need to clear your relationship slate and change your frequency. And once you do that, that is exactly what happened to me. I was in a streak of very dramatic, codependent, discordant relationships. And I got really frustrated. I got tired. And I had a very strong intent. I wanted to manifest a relationship, and whatever relationship I manifested was not what I was looking for. But then I decided to clear myself, and boom, I manifested my twin flame. So remember that frequency, that past relationship baggage, if it's not clear, then it will keep you in the same frequency and will attract you to people, places, time, things, and events similar to that frequency. So when you're clear, you will feel it. You will feel ready because your heart opens up. Your throat chakra is working properly, so your higher self will guide you. So how can I know if they're my twin flame? Only you will know, but you'll know because it's something like you've never have experienced. So it will be evident. It's like an energetic transmission. It's like boom. It's like beyond any relationship you've ever had, or it's like it's indescribable. But you'll know, trust me. Does age make a difference when it comes to your twin flame? For example, if there's a 10-year difference between the two of you, no. No. Age doesn't make a difference. It could be a 10-year gap. Who knows? You don't necessarily incarnate at the same time. Often, that's very rare. Often it will be maybe the same year, but it could be, different years. And because you have different missions on a personal level. But when you're ready, you'll meet. Yeah, if you're in a relationship with someone that is not your twin flame, then of course that will prevent your twin flame from coming in. And I I advocate that if you're in a relationship, and for example, if you think you met your twin flame, make sure that if you're going to complete the other relationship, make sure you give it a proper completion. Don't go running away with the other relationship, because if not, if you don't do that, if you don't give proper closure, with honor, with reverence to the previous relationship, then you will carry that baggage to your new relationship, and you will probably damage the relationship with your twin flame. So take your time, give proper closure to that relationship. How that ending takes place will determine how your new relationship will begin. So I met my twin flame and he awakened me, and I have been acting super lonely and have not been able to speak to him on the phone. Is it too late for me and him to be in a relationship again? I feel more ready now. Everything is possible. It all depends on your intent, your frequency, and also you have to be aware that other people have free will. So we have to respect that. Sometimes you'll do everything you need to do, but they're choosing otherwise. But if that happens, you keep working on yourself, and what you can do is you can declare to the universe, your higher self, to guide you to the most epic relationship you could ever have, where you could fulfill your soul's purpose, where you can experience that beautiful connection with another being, and you'll manifest it. So don't get too caught up with twin flames. But if it's for you, it will happen. But regardless of that, this clearance and activations will get you ready for the best relationship of your dad. Ultimately, we can even let go of the label of twin flame, because we're all manifestations of the one. What is your opinion on twin flames parting ways due to damaged twin flame relationships? I think I've answered that. It's due to unresolved issues, past life karma, energetic blockages, force of attachments, things that haven't been cleared. If you were cleared, then that would not happen. Why is it important to encounter my twin flame in this lifetime and in this world? Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna give you my own opinion. My own opinion is that it's really important because it's a relationship like no other. It's a relationship that will allow you to go to the highest level possible. It's a relationship, you can get there without a relationship, but the ways of the past of being enlightened, by going into a cave, are over. Right now, the new blueprint is relationships. It's the surest way, because it's very easy to go to a cave when you have no relationships and get enlightened. But if you go spend a week with your family or with someone else, then they will trigger whatever you haven't worked. So, and also the love that you can experience by connecting with someone else. Not only that, but this is something I think I mentioned briefly in the webinar, the energies, the tantric energies that a soulmate, twin flame, can cultivate during the act of making love is one of the most powerful energies to heal the grids of Earth. So it is very important on a very personal level for your own self-development, growth, and experience of bliss, joy, in life. And also on a much grander level to help humanity ascend, to leave a legacy of what really relationships are meant to be. All right. So if there aren't any other questions, thank you so much for being with me on this webinar. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for giving me the honor to be at your service. And I hope you enjoyed this immensely. I did. It's been amazing. So once again, thank you. And I hope to see you again in another webinar, in tomorrow's webinar. Much love and namaste. Okay, so a couple of questions. I'm gonna go. I have had relationships that ended badly. Do you think I should reach out to resolve it or just try to disconnect through cutting the cords? If you can do it personally, that's a beautiful experience. It's a very healing experience, but it is not necessary. You can bring closure to a relationship without that person being there. You can do it by, yes, cutting the cords of attachments and going really deep within your higher self and visualizing, connecting to the soul of that person and just, taking responsibility for what you did, um, giving thanks for what they may have given you, taking back what is yours, giving to them what is theirs, and just wish them the best in their evolutionary path, their journey. Give them love. You can give them an etheric hug where you hug them and you imagine that with your inhale, you're filled with love, and then on the exhale, you pass that love on to them. Say thanks, cut the cords, and you're done. But if you can do it here in the 3D, it's a beautiful experience. And that's something that I did in my own personal journey, with the past relationships. Give them proper closure because that is a very important step for what was to be my next relationship, which is the relationship I am in now with my beloved. All right, so thank you all. Much love and namaste.